So you got your duck. And to breast it, first thing you're gonna do is pluck some of the breast feathers off so you can get to the skin underneath so you can cut it open and not get feathers everywhere. Normally you do this outside, out in the field or something. Just let these feathers go back to nature. But you can do it this way too. All right, so you got the most of the breast here exposed, which is good enough. So you want to find the sternum, which is the center of the rib cage here. You can feel it with your fingers. You take your knife and you start at the top of the collarbone and you cut the skin all the way down. So now you've got the breast meat exposed, but the skin is still on there, so you can peel that back. So you pull on it, and sometimes, like this duck is a young duck, so not a lot of fat. The skin is pretty thin, so you can just peel it with your fingers mostly. But sometimes it's really stuck on there if they got a lot of fat, so you gotta cut it away. They've got this like connective kind of sinew that you need to cut sometimes. You just do it very, very gently because you don't want to poke through below into the guts and stuff. You want to stay out of that. So you both sides here. And it's pretty clean in here. I mean, there's not blood or anything unless you shoot them up real good. Then it'll be bloody. So you've got the breast exposed there, skin pulled back. And so now you take your knife and you'll cut right along the inside of the sternum here. See that bone? It runs all the way up and down. And you'll start at the top and you'll cut fairly gently until you feel the knife stop, and that's the rib cage. And so you'll cut along that rib cage. Don't press too hard so you don't poke through and get into the guts inside. And then you follow the top of the wishbone, collarbone there. Follow that down, and then you pull away at the meat as you cut it along the ribs. And be very careful not to cut through into your fingers too, because you've got your fingers behind it. Good. And then you gotta cut pretty good up here because it's...
Are you on the phone?
No, I'm recording a video of how to breast a duck. A lot of connective tissue up here, so you cut that muscle away. And there you go. You got one duck breast. You do the same thing on that other side, and you start along the sternum there and follow it all the way down. This other side, I like to flip them over because I'm right-handed, so get a little bit more control when you're doing this other side of the breast. cut through that tendon there. And there we go. Duck breast. And so you can see now, a little bit of meat still in there, not a ton. And now the blood's starting to come out. So, I mean, that's where most of the meat is. There's a little bit up here on that wishbone and the legs, but there's really nothing on the back, and the wings aren't really edible. So there you go. And throw it in the ditch.